Hey everybody, it's Eric. So, I'm working on a book list app right now where you can add books that you recently finished and rate them from 1 to 5. So, I needed to create a small little rating component in React so they can rate their books from 1 to 5. And so, this is what the finished product looks like. It's pretty simple, actually. And I know there's a bunch of star rating components already that you can just import into your product, like React star rating component that I found on NPM. But I kind of wanted to have it work my way. And with these small little components, it's sometimes kind of overkill to bring in like this whole other library that'll do everything for you when you can really just set it up yourself with just a little bit of work. Especially whenever you're learning code, I think that's a good habit to get into just as a little bit of practice. Because I know when I was first starting to learn JavaScript, like I could cobble everything together, but like actually working on my own code, I wasn't as good at. So I just wanted to show you how you can create a little React component with this pretty quick. So let me start off with a new project. So you can go and create a new React project with create React app. And so let me go yarn create React app React star rating. So if you've never used yarn create before, basically it'll just update it to the latest version and then run it. So we're going to run create React app, and this will be the name of our product. So I've already created this because I don't want to go through the waiting on camera. So let me just erase that and go to React star rating. Let me open this up in VS Code. And then let me start the development environment with yarn start. So the only progress that I've done in here so far is just set up a little bit of CSS. So basically I'm just centering everything with Flexbox. So if you want to center your stars as well, you can just do this. This is just for aesthetic purposes, so it looks good, you know. I want my stars to look good. So first thing we're going to do in this project is let's create a new component called star rating.js. Import React from React and create the component constant star rating, and we're just going to make this a functional component. Return, let's just say an empty div for now, and then export this star default star rating. Let's put star in here so we know that's working. Save that. And we're just going to delete this default stuff that create React app gives you and replace it with star rating. And VS Code imported this for us from star rating. That's nice. Make sure you did that. Save that. And now we have a star right in the middle. Not really a star. We actually want to get an icon. So I'm going to use Font Awesome. They just have these basic stars that you can add. We're going to be using these. And the best way to do that in React is, in my opinion, to use the React icons library. So what you can do is, let's cancel out of that, yarn add React icons. If you're using NPM, you can just use NPM install React icons. You know the drill. So let's add that. Wait a little bit. And then we can go back into our project, go to star rating, and let's import Font Awesome star. Import FA star from React icons /FA. And so that will only get us the Font Awesome star instead of including the entire library, which we don't need. We just need the star. Let's see if that's working. Let me restart the development environment. And Let me close out this. And we now have a tiny little star right here. So we obviously want to make that a little bit bigger. Let's size that up to 100. All right, and now we want to have 5 of these. So one little trick that you can do is, if you want to map over just 5 items, you can create an empty array with ... array 5. And so this is just shorthand for creating an array with 5 untitled items in it. So it's just going to be untitled, 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 or undefined. So we're going to take that and map over that. So we get 5 stars. Let's take each star and return from each of those the star. Okay, now we should begin 5 stars. There we go. And next, let's create some radio buttons. So these are just stars right here. We want to create like an actual form field. So let's wrap this with a label. So basically we're going to be using radio inputs for this. So they're going to be clicking on the stars. The stars are going to be the labels, but behind the scenes it's actually going to be a radio button that you're clicking on. But we're just going to hide the radio buttons so you only see the stars. So we wrap that with the label and make an input with the type of radio. Let's call all of these rating. We don't need the ID. Okay, and the CSS that I had is going to hide that. But just so you know what it looks like, you're just going to have a little radio button for each of these. So the star, when you click on the star, it automatically makes it checked. So we're going to go and hide those radio buttons with the CSS. And let me give this the class of star. So that'll I just set some CSS so it'll give us the pointer whenever we hover over it. It just looks nicer, feels more interactive. Okay, so when we click on each of these radio buttons, we want it to register as a rating from 1 to 5. So let me just add another argument to this. So if you map over something and you want to get which position it's at, you can add an iterator right here. So basically what this will do is on the first item of the array, it'll return 0, the next one 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to take that I, and we want the first one to be a value of 1 for 1 star, and the last one to be a value of 5. So let's say constant rating value is equal to I plus 1. Because array started 0, so we just wanted it to start at 1 instead of 0. Just makes it easier for us. So let's make the value, the rating value. So if you go into the code here, you'll see that value of 1, value of 2. So it'll increment for each of these. Now we want to save the value of this star rating in state. So let me grab the useState hook from here. useState from React. And so we're going to just use that constant rating and set rating equals useState. And we're just going to set the initial value at null. So if you've never rated anything, if you've never rated this before, it's just going to be unrated. And so we can get the rating and we can set the rating as well with the useState hook. So whenever we click on one of these, we want it to save it. So we're going to call a function here, and I'll say set rating to the current rating value. So if it's the first star, it's going to set it to here. I wrote the wrong syntax. 1 second. So if it's the first star, all right, perfect. That's the right syntax. So if it's the first star, it's gonna set it as 1, second as 2, third as 3, etc. So let's see if that's working. Let me go to my React tools right here. This is a Chrome extension right here. If you don't see this, then you need to install the React Dev Tools that you can find in the Chrome Web Store or Firefox Web Store. So I want to go to this component, and the initial state is going to be null, but once you click on these, it'll set it to 3, 5, 1. Okay, that looks good, but we don't have any visual indicator. So it stores it as the right value, but it doesn't look like anything from here. So what we want to do is color this in right here. So React icons can take in a color prop. So let's say if the rating value, so the current value we're on, if it's less or equal to the rating, so if the rating is 3 and the current star that we're on is 1, then we want to light it up. Then we're going to set it as 1 color, and if it's not, then we're going to set it as a gray color. So I have the colors right here. Let me just grab these. I want to make it yellow, and this one gray. And okay, so this is how it looks, and whenever you check it, it'll turn yellow. All right, great, that looks good. And of course the state is still working, but I wanted to add a little bit more just to make it look more responsive. So I wanted it to also like have a hover effect, so it just looks more interactive. Right now it looks kind of static, like maybe it's read only, I don't know. So we want to make it more obvious to the user that they can like change the rating themselves. So in addition to having this rating and set rating to the state hook, we also want to have hover and set hover. So this is going to be the value that's currently hovered over, and that's also going to be null. And so instead of on click, we want to have on mouse over, and have that be a function that will set, not the rating, hover to rating value. And we want to clear that whenever they move it out. So on mouse out, set hover back to its initial value, null. Okay. And so we want the hover effect to override the rating. So we want to put hover first. So if it's less than or equal to the hover rating, then that'll come first over rating. So basically this is saying if the rating value is less than or equal to hover or rating. So let me show you how it looks. Let's see, it's not working. So it's not having any hover effect. Let's see, it's not mouse over, it's on mouse enter. Okay, I figured it out. So on mouse enter and on mouse leave should be in the FA star, not inside the radio button, because as you know, we've hidden the radio buttons so they can't see them. Okay, so we got that right here. And so now whenever you hover over it, it'll show up that many stars, and whenever you click on it, it'll save that. But whenever you hover over it again, it'll show you what it'll change to. So I wanted the hover to take precedent over the rating. So hover comes first and then rating. And if both of them are null, then we're just gonna have it be the gray color. All right, and that's stored in the state right here. So you can show that anywhere on the page if you want to. So let's say we wanted to show the rating. The rating is rating. So right now it's null. Now it's 2. Now it's 5. Now it's 1. All right. So that's an easy way to get a star rating component in your application. And hope you found that helpful. You could probably make it a little bit more complicated if you want, but I just wanted the basic component right here. And it does everything it needs to. All right, if you liked the video, you can leave it a thumbs up, subscribe, something like that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one. Bye.